Listen, I want to talk to the people out there that keep making these videos saying that they're homeless. Stop telling that lie. Listen, a lot of people that's claiming to be homeless is not homeless at all. If you can afford to stay in a hotel, you're not homeless. You're not living in a tent city. You're not living on the street. You're not sleeping on the street. You're not eating out of garbage cans. You're not walking down picking cigarette butts out of the trash just to smoke it. You're not begging for money. You may be doing that on the internet, but you're not homeless. See, a lot of y'all are homeless by choice. You live in nice homes, or you had an apartment. You were doing well, but yet you fled because you voted the wrong people in office. You voted Democrats. The Democrats did nothing for you. They're supporting and taking care of illegal immigrants, sending our tax dollars over to the Ukraine. The crime rate is high in Democratic states. So now you want to run to Texas, you want to run to Florida, you want to run to Republican states just to vote the same way you did in your own hometown, which is the reason why you fled in the first place. So stop that lying, talking about you homeless and we stayed in hotels and all this other nonsense. You are not homeless because you can afford to stay in a hotel. If you're homeless by choice. You're homeless because you left a home. You left where you lived. You fled. So now you want to claim homeless. And listen, I've seen so many scams on YouTube. You have YouTube content creators that will put a bunch of stuff in their car. You will see in the back seat, their car is full of clothes. And they will give you a sob story talking about how homeless they are. They have no place to stay, but yet instead of them trying to find some type of work or find a place to stay, they're on the internet crying and begging you for money. These are people that's scamming you. So stop all of these homeless lies, man. If you're not living like this guy you see in the background, if you're not living like that, you're not homeless. If you got money enough to stay in a hotel or even pay for a cell phone bill, you're not homeless. You're just trying to scam people. See? And a lot of people are also homeless too because you refuse to pay your rent. There was a young man that was at Price Chopper supermarket. And they had open interviews where people could go there, and you have companies all over this that's looking to hire people, man. They're paying people $500, $1,000 just to sign on and just to work, man. And you got people that's refusing to work. People don't want to work. This dude goes in an interview and tells the interviewer, "You paying me $15? That ain't enough money. I get food stamps. I get a place to stay. My rent is paid. I get this." And he started naming all the things that the government was giving him. And he says, "You got to pay me $20. Now, I don't blame the dude because if you could get away with that, man, if the government is funding and taking care of you, he said he don't have to pay for health care because the government does that. He don't have to pay for rent because the government does that. He doesn't have to worry about food because the government give him food stamps and then give him money. So, of course, people are not going to want to work, right? And what they fail to realize is that those government funds are going to run out. The government needs to stop paying for these people. If they don't want to work, the government needs to cut them off. Give them a certain time to look for work. Say like maybe 6 months. We give you 6 months or maybe 3 months because it's not hard to find a job. So say I'm giving you 3 months to find work. If you don't find work, I'm cutting you off. And you got people out there that's using their kids, man, for a payday. You borrowing people's kids just to collect social services or welfare, right? But the government should start saying, okay, we're going to give you just enough for those kids to feed those kids. We're going to give it to you in food. We ain't giving you no stamps. We're just going to give you some surplus foods like they used to do back in the 60s. With that block cheese, the powdered eggs, the Spam, all of the surplus food that our foreparents got when they were on welfare, that's what they should start again. Giving them surplus food instead of giving them cash. Don't pay for their rent. Or if you house them, put them in the lowest place, the lowest communities where they would have no choice. If they have any type of self-respect or pride about themselves, they're going to try to get up and get out of there because they don't want to stay in that condition. Put them in the worst condition and let them work, especially if you're able-bodied. If you're young, you're in your 20s, you're strong, you're able-bodied to go out there and work. Put them jokers off welfare. So you got people that's out there homeless, and I don't feel sorry for you. If you put yourself in that situation, now all during COVID, the pandemic, and they were giving out these stimulus packages, and people weren't paying their rent, and now that it ran out because you were dependent upon that extra unemployment check, and when that ran out, a lot of y'all are now being kicked out into the street. And your tax dollars are going to Ukraine. And guess what? You're still going to vote Democrat. It makes no sense to me. You're still going to vote the same people that put you in the condition that you're in today. People are struggling now, have no place to stay, living on the street, and your tax dollars are going to Ukraine. And so what they're going to do, what the Democrats are going to do, they're going to start giving you little crumbs, give you a little stimulus for the kids. The gas price will go down just a little bit, just enough to make you want to vote for them, to make you think that they're doing something for you. And the only thing they're trying to do is remain in power. And then silly you is going to go vote them to remain in office, keeping you in a worse condition that you're in today. See, I don't feel sorry for you. And like I said, a lot of these people that claim to be homeless are not homeless at all because you got enough money to stay in a hotel. That's not homelessness. And that's because you made the choice and decision to flee. You left where you lived at. You had a place to stay and you left there. You just need to vote different. Stop voting these Democrats in office. They're the ones that's keeping you in this condition. They're keeping you poor so that whenever in election time come up, they can make fake promises to you, empty promises about how they're going to help you and give you free health care, free lodging, free food, everything free. You don't want to work for nothing. And then you're going to be like this young dude that tell this interviewer, like, you got to pay me $20 because I get free health care. I get free rent. I get free food from the government. The government should shut that down and force these people to go back to work. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Those immigrants that's crossing the border, see, they're going to come here. They're going to take those jobs. And then now when you want to go back to work, when there's no more government funds, you can't find work because the illegal immigrants are going to get those jobs. And then they're going to be above you and you're going to be poor, still on the bottom, begging for crumbs, talking about what the government don't do for you. So feedback, tell me what you think until next time. I'm fearless.